Plaintiff Monica Collier says she and the defendant became good friends at college, and they were even intimate from time to time. However, the two of them never dated because the defendant didn't sexually satisfy her. Monica's suing her former friend because she claims he got parking tickets on her car and never paid them. Defendant Robert Granville says when he met Monica, he was in the process of turning his life around because he had been a drug dealer who got assaulted while being robbed, and he spent 45 days in jail. Robert admits he borrowed Monica's car and accumulated tickets on the vehicle, but insists he had every intention of paying for them.
Tell me what happened.
Well, I met Mr. Granville in the fall of 2005 at college. Getting to know him, I understood that he had a good personality. He was very funny. Over time, we became closer friends. I started helping him with homework and lunch.
What college you all attend?
We went to Rochester Business Institute.
Okay.
So we gained a friendship there. I gained a little more respect for him to learn that he was in a process of getting custody of his two sons. Where I'm from, you don't find too many young men that, do things like that. So, over time we became very close. Over time we became intimate, of course. We would talk about sex, and it was like he would talk about and brag about how he would do this and he'll do that, but
never got around to it.
Never got around to it. Never. Yes, Your Honor. I was very unsatisfied. The only thing big was his
So
game.
you did get around to having sex.
He didn't get around to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So the end of 2007, we finished up school. We were going to graduate. I got my job where I was. He, I believe, got a job.
Good.
It was wintertime, a lot of snow where we are, and I was in the process of financing my first car. I had a used car that I offered Mr. Granville that he can use. And after a month or so, I noticed parking bills coming to my address from the place of employment where he worked. I would call Robert. Robert, you gonna pay the parking tickets? I'll pay it when I get paid next week. I'll call Robert Friday, no answer.
Okay, so he agreed he owed?
Yeah, he
All
would
right,
say,
let me see the tickets he owed for. Sir?
I did meet her in school. While I was going to school, I was in the process of getting everything together with myself, because I was on the wrong track. It started from a kid, being a follower. I kind of, looked up to older people. I seen an older friend of the family used to cut grass, so I went to cut grass too. I seen him buying new clothes and stuff, find out he's selling weed. I'm like, okay, I try that out too. I'm selling weed now and then, when you're in the game, other things come to you. And it was like, I could make more money selling crack. So I'm like, I started doing that too. But in the meantime of doing that, I was viciously robbed and I spent 45 days in jail. And I was pistol whipped. You wouldn't even know how I look now if you see me then. And that kind of like struck me like, this is not me. My mom she ain't raised no bad kid. She raised me, I was a good kid, and I praise her for that. And I was also in the process, like she said, of getting my kids, and I couldn't get my kids doing that.
Okay, so you started college, you were trying to get your kids, you turn yourself around, good.
Yep, and I'm starting, I've been going for a while, and then, it was the beginning of the semester, and I seen Monica sitting in class. I believe she was waiting for a little extra help. I'm not...
On her work?
No, just a little questions of the why. She was a smart girl, though.
Gotcha.
She used to help me with my homework and things. But I went to her and I told her she was a beautiful girl. I didn't want to beat it in the ground. I didn't want to, kind of like put too much pressure on her. I just wanted to tell her she was a nice girl.
Okay.
I said that, and due to time, we're going to school. I see her every day in class. We got about 2 or 3 classes. We speak, and I'm hi, how are you? It kind of grew into a little bit more. But due to the fact that we wasn't girlfriend and boyfriend, I kind of met somebody else, and me and the other person started messing around a little bit. And it's like me and the other person kind of grew to be, like boyfriend and girlfriend. And it wasn't a smart decision. It wasn't a smart decision at all.
Why?
Just didn't work out, Your
Okay.
Honor. It wasn't.
So you tried to go back?
He never was with me.
Oh, I thought you said you all were dating.
We were friends.
Were
We're
intimate.
just friends.
Yeah, we
Oh,
were good
okay.
friends.
Just
So when you
friends.
say intimate, that's just friends?
No boyfriend, no girlfriend, just
Yeah, just
friends with
friends.
benefits.
Okay, friends with benefits. Okay.
All right.
Go ahead.
And so it's like, so me and her, me and the other girl, we kind of got together or whatever. And then Monica asked me, to help her out in a favor. She wanted me to help her move a few things. And I felt like, this is my friend. She's a good girl. She always there for me. I felt like I should have helped her.
Sir, you're not going to get her back talking nice things on television
I know.
her. You got to go and talk to her personally.
I know.
So let's get to the car. Keep trying to talk about this ex, thinking that she gonna see you.
Oh
and feel
no,
sorry for you
I was
on
leading up
TV.
to the car because me and the friend had broke up, and that's why no, because when me and the friend broke up, like she said, she was the one to talk to. So
Okay.
she was the one I turned to talk to and to comfort me, and ease my heart a little bit. And she did that, and when she did that, it kind of sparked
Endeared you to her.
Yeah, it kind of helped me to her. Like one day, she called me. She's like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "I'm in my mom's house.
Sir,
I'm in the house."
You don't have any good friends? Buddies? You don't have any buddies?
Well, I was in the process of changing my life. I was trying to
do
leave
you
no
have
buddies
any
alone.
buddies now?
Any buddies? No, I have a few.
Okay, well, tell them all this. That's what buddies are for. We broke up and she let me come back, man. And now that we back, so-and-so and so-and-so.
Yeah.
But now I'm going to try to get so-and-so. You know her, right? I used to kick it with her. Yeah, I'm going to go back to her and try to get a car. But in the meantime, I'm going to still get my girl back too if I can. That's what you do with your buddies.
Yeah, but it really ain't
we all right, but
Oh, I know, yeah.
I can't do all this with you.
Okay, so
I gotta listen to my buddies enough.
of course.
Did you borrow her car and were tickets on the car while under your authority to the amount of $750?
Yes.
All right. Is there any defense to not paying her money?
Well, the thing is, I was gonna pay her.
But you haven't?
I haven't paid her.
Why not?
The reason why I haven't paid her.
Please,
Your Honor,
not another love story. Just something real,
it's not
something
another
real
love story.
small.
But the
All
thing
right.
is, Your Honor, it's like I work now. You know what I'm saying? And I say hustling is totally different. I mean, like 5-10 times different.
Yeah, but you weren't hustling when you accumulated these tickets. So you knew then that you were going to have to pay them with a square job.
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. But the thing is, hustling, you can make what I make in 2 weeks.
Right.
I was making in I say a day.
Sir, teach me how to milk a duck, something I don't know nothing about. I know all about that. Teach me about something I don't know.
I understand.
All right,
that.
can we skip the lesson and go ahead and pay this woman her $750? Thank you for your lesson anyway. Have a good day.
Thank you.
$750 for the trainer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Well, I still think she can still be a valuable person within my circumference of my life, and she is a good person, and she'll always be a good person. I do apologize.